The turtle diagram is one of the core process analysis tools in quality management. In this video, I will show you how to use it, and I will also give you a real life example so that you can learn how to apply it on your job. And make sure you stay until the end, because I will tell you how you can use the turtle diagram to audit and improve any process in a clear, structured, and professional manner. Let's go. Why is the turtle diagram called a turtle diagram? Because it is supposed to look like a turtle. Look for yourself. Does it look like a turtle? Write your opinion in the comments below. The turtle diagram is a process planning and analysis tool. You can use it for new processes, you can use it for existing processes, and you can also use it for problem solving. In this case, it works similar like the Ishikawa diagram. Why? The way of working it is very similar. You gather a team together and then you write down the process that you want to analyze and you put it in the middle of the turtle diagram, into the belly. And then you write down on the left side the inputs, what goes into the turtle. And they could be material input, but they could be also requirements regarding the input. For example, if you are having a production process to produce something, then on the left side, maybe you have materials for the production. Maybe you have also inspection instructions, how the material should be inspected before it goes into your process, just to make sure that everything what goes into your process is meeting the requirements and is qualified. And then you have the same on the output. So on the output, you have a material output, or maybe it's a service, so you want to have a certain result, and the result should be according to certain characteristic requirements and expectations, maybe of the customer, maybe of the government, maybe of yourself, of your organization. Write down all the material inputs and outputs and all the requirements so that you can later consider them in the analysis. And then the next step, you go around the turtle. You go leg by leg, and here you can find the 5M of the Ishikawa diagram. On the upper left, you find what? The material and the machine, everything related to the material and the machine. What machines are involved, what materials go into the process. Then we have the man, who is doing it, and everything related to the people. How many, how certified, what kind of jobs, roles and responsibilities. Everything goes here. Then you have on the lower left side the how, the method. How are we doing it? Are there any work instructions? Is there anything defined how we should do it? And then, last but not least, the measure. How can we measure if our process is doing what it should do, and is it performing that on a good or on a bad level? Maybe we have to do something in case of deviations. To understand it better, let's do the example of a process. For example, of baking a pizza. Pizza baking nowadays is a very popular business. Remember companies like Pizza Hut and Domino's? Everybody bakes pizza. Seems there is a lot of money involved. So in order to be successful as a franchise, you need a strong process. Let's map out a pizza baking process. Let's see what we can find out. So first of all, I would write down baking pizza as my process in the middle of the turtle. And with pizza baking, I mean everything from preparing the dough, preparing the topping, putting it into the oven, and then putting it also into a paper box so that the customer can take it away or maybe eat it right there in the restaurant. And then I would go to the left side. I would ask myself, okay, what goes into the pizza? And here I could put the things like flour, water, ingredients, all kinds of ingredients. Maybe also rules and policies. Maybe the employee, before they touch the flour and the ingredients, maybe they need to wash their hands. Maybe they need to wear some gloves or some kind of hair protection so that the hair is not falling into the pizza. Maybe there's kind of a job order which comes with the pizza to tell you what kind of pizza you have to bake. Is it the salami pizza? Is it the family? Is it this crust? Is it with double cheese? And so on. So this is the input. Then on the other side, I can look at the output. For example, here I want to have my pizza. I want that the pizza is on time. I want that the material is according to the job order. I want that the pizza looks nicely. I want that the dough is in a certain way cooked and consistent. I want that the pizza is hot. I want that the size is correct, and so on. So there's a lot of requirements. First of all, I want the pizza to be in a certain way, but yeah, and then these requirements, they describe how the pizza should be, and then I can compare my output to the requirements and see if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, and then you go around the legs. For example, now I can say what? Machine and material. What kind of materials go into the pizza? And what kinds of machines am I using? And here I can list all the machines and tools that are related to pizza baking. For example, the pizza oven, very central and important. Maybe the pizza pan, where I form the pizza on to put it in the oven. So the pizza is traveling then on this pan until it goes into the box to the customer. Maybe I want to use some visual aids to support me how to pick the materials, or maybe I have circles on the table that show me exactly how big or small the pizza should be in the certain categories. Yeah, and then all kinds of raw materials that go on the pizza, into the pizza, tomato sauce and cheese and the pepperoni and everything. And here also the personal protective equipment, or tools like knives and gloves and spoons and all these kind of things that I can use in order to move the material or cook the pizza or process the pizza. Then I can move on to the people, to the man. Who is doing this? Who is doing this? And then we can look around. Who is there in the kitchen? Who should be there? Maybe there's a supervisor, a head of the kitchen, a chef. Maybe the chef has several pizza bakers that they supervise. And these pizza bakers, maybe they need to be qualified in a certain way to be able to do this position. And then maybe you have people who are cutting the vegetables and preparing the sauces. And then you have maybe the one who is cleaning the dishes and the one who is maintaining the oven and all the technical items. And maybe you have somebody who brings the materials and puts them in a container so that the pizza baker can continuously produce more pizzas. You know where I'm going. Yeah, and then we can go also on the lower left side, the how, the method. Here you can say, for example, that you need to use a standard operations procedures. Yeah, maybe you have pictures of the different steps, how to do the pizza, and maybe there are also some rules, what you should do, what you should not do. And maybe it shows you how to use certain tools in order to put the tomato sauce and in order to put the right amount of olives or cheese on the pizza. Then there might be a recipe for the different types of pizza. Maybe there are hygiene rules that you have to follow. Maybe there are inspection checklists before you put the pizza in the oven, that you double check, is everything on the pizza that should be there. Yeah? And maybe you also have here some visual aids in these instructions, how to do it. And then come to the measurement, objectives and targets of the process. Here you can list everything what you want to measure. Everything what you want to measure to ensure that this process is a successful process. For example, you could say, you could measure the pizza process time. That you say, okay, every minute one pizza, or every 5 minutes one pizza. That you measure that how long you need to produce one pizza, because this shows something about the efficiency. Is everything coming on time or not? You can also measure the rejects. That tells you something about the quality of the pizza. Are the customers happy with what they get or not? And what if you have a lot of rejects? You can analyze the root cause and see what is going wrong and improve. And you can also say, are my materials within the budget? Maybe I'm using too many materials. Maybe I'm using too less materials. Maybe some operators or some cooks or some pizza bakers, they put more cheese on the pizza than others. And in this way, I'm over-consuming material. And this is not good for me because it costs more money. And maybe it's also not what the customer ordered. And in this way, not according to the requirements. You see, in this way, it's very easy and to go around the turtle diagram and fill up this information. It's a creative brainstorming process that you normally do in a team and not by yourself. And by this, you will see all the perspectives of the different departments that participate and get a very complete picture of what the process look like and what it should produce. Now that we have seen how to use the turtle diagram, we can see that there are some clear benefits. It is very easy to understand, and we can use it to plan new processes or analyze and improve existing processes. We can also use it for problem analysis to find the probable root cause of a process problem. And we can also use it for training. For example, when a new person comes to your company and wants to know how you are working and what is important for the work and the process, you can show the turtle diagram, and the person will get a very quick overview and a clear idea what goes into the process, what goes out, and what is important to consider with regard to this process. But I also promised you to talk about the aspects of auditing. And in auditing, the turtle diagram is really popular because there's one requirement in the ISO 9001, the main standard for quality management system, that requires the organization shall identify the needed processes for their quality management system and then understand, analyze, and control all the relevant interactions with it. So when an auditor comes to a company, the first thing they ask for is, show me your processes and show me how they are interacting and what is critical and how do you control it. And what comes better here, handy, than showing the turtle diagram? Because the turtle diagram gives the auditor exactly this overview. And then the auditor, and you can do the same, can prepare the audit and define what questions to ask and in which sequence to go through the audit. How to do it? Let's do an example. You can go, for example, around the legs of the turtle and pick your auditor's question. An auditor can never audit 100% of the company. The auditor only takes some questions here, some sample here, and some sample there. And by this, impressions that the auditor collects make up their opinion about the robustness and the status of the quality management system. So for example, you could ask questions like about the method. How should you work here? Are there any work instructions? Are there any standard operations procedures? Then you let the organization explain how it should be. Then you take the standard operation procedures, you go into the Gemba, into the pizza kitchen in this case, and you look if the people are really working accordingly. And if you find out that this is the case, then it's good. And if not, you have a deviation. You can also look with regards to the man, the who is in the kitchen, and are the people properly qualified? Are they certified? Do they have the proper training? And also, do they have the understanding of the relevant related requirements to the product? You can ask them questions regarding to the requirements and see if they understand all the related requirements or not. And by this, get a good impression what is going on. Yeah, and last but not least, you can also check, for example, the measurement aspects. What are the KPIs that are relevant for the process? And are the KPIs in the past always met? Did they meet the target or were they below the target? And if they were below the target, you can check if the organization has then started an analysis process, finding out what was the root cause of the deviation and then defining corrective actions in order to get better and better and recover the trend going above the target. So all in all, this is how you can use it, and you go around the leg, and in a very structured way, very easily, you can make professional auditing and get a clear overview in what shape the company is. And if you like this kind of videos, check also my other videos, for example, on Ishikawa diagram or on ISO 9001.